Good afternoon to you all. A very warm welcome to this special event, a special coffee break languages event. Now we had hoped to be going live on YouTube and indeed on our Facebook channels today. Unfortunately, the Facebook bit didn't work, but we are delighted to be here on YouTube, and we hope that you're looking forward to hearing what we have in store for you today. It's great to see many of you joining us live. We've got lots of you saying hello. We've got Eugene saying hola a todos. Todd is saying ich komme aus Massachusetts, so someone else is obviously from Massachusetts here. George is joining us from Malaysia. Oh, there's Eileen from Massachusetts. Excellent. We've got lots of people joining us. Barbara's here from Idaho. Excellent. And we've got Trevor joining us from Cambridge. Many of you joining us live today. We're delighted to have you here today for this special announcement. We've got a number of things to announce. Let's just have a look and see that these slides are working. They are indeed. So hopefully you can all hear me and you can all see the slides. As I'm sure many people, we have been very busy over the past few weeks and months. It's been a strange time, a different time for all of us, and I'm sure it's been an interesting time for you too. One of the things that these kind of situations often mean is that you have some time to think and time to look at things differently, and that's exactly what we've been doing over the past few weeks. Like many of us, like many of you, we've been working at home and joining the whole team together on Zoom and coming together to produce the ongoing content that we've been releasing. So this week we've put out a new episode of Coffee Break English, where, as you can see, we're learning to count in English. Of course, Coffee Break English is aimed at Spanish speakers learning English. So we are tackling some basic English in these early lessons, and in this lesson we've been doing some counting: 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, of course, for our Spanish speakers. And we've also been releasing our Coffee Break Swedish lessons. So we've just published lesson 10 of Coffee Break Swedish, and in that we were looking at what we've been learning over the course of the past 10 lessons. And as the learner on Coffee Break Swedish, I'm absolutely amazed at how much progress we've made and how much Swedish we're able to understand in these past 10 lessons. Now, this episode, this announcement is not necessarily about our current content, but about some new content. And coming up, we've got information about new podcasts, new video content, and new courses. So we're really excited to be bringing this to you today. I'm going to be demonstrating some of this and explaining a little more about it. And if you have any questions about anything that I talk about, then I'll be very happy to answer some questions at the end. Seeing many more of you joining us here from Canada, from Ghana, from Minneapolis, from London, from Kansas, from the Isle of Man. Lots of you here, so it's great to see you all here. Okay, let's get on with our announcements. I know that many of you are hoping for certain things. Let's see if we've got something that will address your needs at the moment. So I'll bring my slides up. First of all, we're going to talk about our new French course. Now, we've mentioned this before. We've been talking about it for some months. And La Vérité éclate toujours is this new advanced French course, especially for advanced learners. If you have been working through our French courses, you'll already have done Season 4, and Season 4 was already really quite advanced. But we wanted to take things a little further indeed, and that's where La Vérité éclate toujours comes in. It is a very advanced course. It's C1, C2 level in the CEFR, so really challenging. And it's very much for those of you who have already completed Season 4. Now, we're delighted that La Vérité éclate toujours goes live tomorrow. So as of tomorrow, you'll be able to access the content. And the idea is that you're able to build your knowledge of French with this course. And it's all through a story. So you're going to be following the story of James, who is a Scot living in France. He's a journalist, and he has a friend called Max. And something happens to Max in the first episode, and we need to find out what happens over the course of 40 chapters of our book, of our story. And the chapters will be released every 2 weeks, so fortnightly podcasts, and there will be additional materials to help you get through them. Now, this content is really at a native speaker level. So basically, it's like lifting a book off the shelf in a French bookshop and reading that kind of level of French. So it's a really challenging level. We've combined narrative chapters with some dialogue chapters as well. So you get the balance of the narrative as if you were reading a novel, but also the dialogue. So that would be like reading a play in a sense, or a screenplay. And each of the episodes will be developing the story further, and there's a whole range of additional materials associated with that course. So let me see if I can. Yeah, so as I said, fortnightly free podcasts every 2 weeks, starting tomorrow. There will be the free podcast that will be available, and in that free podcast, we'll be talking about the story. We'll be reading the chapter together, and then talking about what happens in the story. But there's also additional content. In our premium edition, you will get access to the text of the chapter. And then we've also got what we call the annotated text. And this is where we have provided lots and lots of notes explaining more about the words, the language, and any cultural references used. There is the bonus audio material, and that is in the form of a language study episode, or indeed multiple language study episodes, where basically Pierre Benoit and I, as the two presenters of the course, will get into all of the language used. So we'll go through the entire chapter and talk about every single phrase there and explain any difficult parts and look at other ways of using the text in the chapter. And so in many cases, there are multiple language study episodes for each of the chapters of the book or of the course. There's also a video version, so we'll be able to see the text on the screen as you read the chapter. So it's an alternative way of using the chapter. And then we've also introduced a new idea, and this is coming from requests from many of you in previous content, where we've been looking at the kind of language used in the course, and then looking at ways in which we can actually take that language and put it into our own speaking and writing and use it in the course of a week. So that's what's going to happen on the weeks in between the chapters. Obviously, with La Vérité éclate toujours, the amount of language contained in one episode is enormous. So we're publishing the chapters every 2 weeks, but in the in-between weeks, we'll publish the Atelier Linguistique in the premium course. And the Atelier Linguistique is presented by me as a teacher, and Eva, a new member of the team who is an advanced learner like many of you. So Eva is going to be looking at the chapter and deciding some of the phrases that she would like to develop and use in her own speaking and writing. So we'll talk about them and provide some challenges for you on that basis. I think I can actually show you what this looks like in the Coffee Break Academy. So let's take a quick look at this. Here you should see what the course looks like. So this is for lesson 1. We've got chapter 1. Obviously we've got the audio itself. So we can start playing the audio there. And I think you'll hear this once it starts.
La vérité éclate toujours. Chapitre 1.
Bien, on est de retour.
Oui, tout souriant.
Nous sommes de retour. So you can hear it's a normal podcast. We'll do the introduction, and then Pierre Benoit will read the chapter. So you can see you get the text here that you can read along as you listen. But we've also got this different version of the text where we provide the notes. So you can actually see here everything that has got any kind of complex nature about it is explained in the notes. And there are many, many notes associated with this, so you'll be able to really get into the language in a significant way here with the annotated text. We then provide the fichier audio pour l'étude approfondie de la langue, the language study episodes. And you can see here for episode 1, for chapter 1, there are 4 different episodes, and that's over an hour of content explaining all the aspects of the language. We've provided a vocabulary list, so there's the vocabulary list in the order, the alphabetical order, but also in the order of appearance in the text. So again, you can test yourself on the vocabulary there. And we also provide just the text. So if you want to listen again to the chapter audio, that's just the actual chapter there, straight into the language there. We can listen to the audio.
La vérité éclate.
We've also got the video version here. So I play this.
Se dit James. Seulement 2 heures pour aller à Paris. Le voyage lui parut extrêmement court, et pour cause, le bercement et le calme de la voiture très tôt ce matin.
So you get the idea, basically, the idea here is of a video version where you're following the words as they are being read, a kind of video audiobook, I guess. We also provide the Atelier Linguistique, so this one will be published on the 8th of June, next Monday, and the Atelier Linguistique takes some of the language used in the main episode, and we take it that bit further. So that gives you an idea about La vérité éclate toujours. James is mentioning. Let's see if I can put this on the screen. James here is saying, you mentioned La vérité éclate toujours was a such and such level. I don't understand these levels. Is it the right level for someone who did French at university badly? Absolutely. If you're comfortable with dealing with this level of French, so you got a quick view of it there when you saw that on the screen. It's a level of French where we're using past historics, so the past historic narrative tense. It's a level of French where the vocabulary is challenging, and it's very much a level that it's for native speakers. Ultimately, the native speakers who would be reading a book like this would be reading this with no problem. But obviously, for learners are at a high level, want to challenge themselves, and if this is the kind of level for you, then it sounds like it would be right. Hopefully, that does answer your question, James. Obviously, you'll be able to see this one when it's released, and you'll get a feel for the actual level. So, if I just come back to the slides here. All of those elements are part of the premium version, and the premium version will be available from tomorrow, and it will also be published on an ongoing basis. So the premium version doesn't come out all at once; it will be published on an ongoing basis. And the première partie, as we're seeing here, the first 10 episodes will be published over the next 20 weeks, basically. So in terms of pricing, the normal price would be £78, including VAT within the UK, and VAT is applied at the normal rate in EU countries. If you're in the US, it would be $80, and there would be no VAT on that, obviously, if you're in the US, or indeed elsewhere in the world where VAT is not paid. But until the 14th of June, you can save 20%, so that's bringing the price down to £62.40, including VAT, in the UK, and $64 in the US. Okay, so that is La vérité éclate toujours. We're really, really excited about this new course, and we think you're going to love it, especially if you're an advanced learner of French. It's very much after season 4. So if you've done season 4 already, then this would be ideal for you. Or if you're coming in at this kind of university level of French, it would be ideal. If you're not at that stage, obviously we've got lots of other materials for you. And if you've not yet done season 4, then season 4 would be ideal too. Okay, that is the news for our advanced learners of French. So let's have a look at what else we've got coming up. We said new podcasts, new video content, and new courses. So let's take a further look at this, because we felt as we're launching something for advanced French speakers, what about our existing intermediate French speakers? And yes, we are working on more content for our magazines. So we've got our Coffee Break French magazine. We released a season of that last year, and we've got more seasons in preparation. But over the past few weeks, we've been trying to come up with something that would be something quick, something ideally that we can launch very soon. And we are also looking at something that will address that intermediate level, something to give you more practice and get you more content, more access to the language at that level. And for that reason, we have decided to come up with a new course, a new series. And this is a brand new podcast, which will be called Coffee Break French Travel Diaries. Now, the idea here is that we are following the travel journal of a young couple who are travelling through the south of France. And basically, as they travel through each area, they're keeping a journal of what they got up to during the day, and they are writing that journal, and we're going to be using that journal to do some learning of French. If you like, it's kind of travelling at a time that we can't really travel, so some virtual travel. And we thought this idea would bring a new bit of content for our intermediate learners to work through. So this is a new podcast, and it is going to be available very soon. Indeed, the fact is, because we felt that if we were doing this for French, then we should also perhaps do it for some other languages. So I'm delighted to announce today that the French travel diaries will be starting this week, and also we will be starting Coffee Break Italian travel diaries as well. So, in the Coffee Break Italian diaries, again, we're following a travel journal of two young people as they travel through Tuscany, and they're going to be stopping off at different parts in Tuscany. They visit Pisa, Lucca, where else? Siena, and various other places that don't, San Gimignano, other places that don't come to mind immediately. But the travel diaries are 10 episodes of intermediate Italian. Again, if you've been working through Coffee Break Italian seasons 1 and 2, and likewise with French seasons 1 and 2, you'll be able to really enjoy these lessons. So let us have a look at this. Coffee Break French Travel Diaries weekly from Thursday, the 4th of June, starting this Thursday coming, and that will be in the podcast feed. So if you're subscribed to the Coffee Break French podcast feed, then you'll get that automatically on the 4th of June. Likewise, Coffee Break Italian weekly from Friday the 5th of June. So this Friday, our first edition of the Coffee Break Italian Travel Diaries. And again, this is something that we can all listen to and enjoy, and imagine the times that we'll be able to visit these lovely places in the future, and reminisce about times that we've been there perhaps in the past. For French, it's going to be myself and Pierre Benoit who are hosting, and we'll be listening to the travel diaries as read by Lara. And then for Italian, we are going to be, again, myself and Francesca are hosting, and the travel diaries will be read by Silvia. Okay, so that's coming out this Thursday and Friday. And I'm sure you're probably thinking, well, what about the other languages? Well, we've got a German and a Spanish travel diary in preparation. It's going to take a few weeks to get ready, but there will be a German and a Spanish travel diary coming soon too. So that's some new podcast content there to look forward to. A series of 10 lessons, and I'm sure you're going to love these. Okay, that's the next element we've got to tell you about. I should also say that there will be a premium course available where you'll get lesson notes and also a video version with pauses for pronunciation practice. Now, this is something we've actually been doing as we've been doing our Facebook Lives over the past few months. We've done Facebook Lives almost every week for the past 3 months. And during the Facebook Lives, one of the things that you seem to really, really enjoy is the idea where we're going to read something, pause, and let you read it again. So, with our video version of these travel diaries, unfortunately, we can't go to these places and film. That would be wonderful, but that ain't happening just now. But the video versions are really there to allow you to see the words on the screen, similar to the La Vérité éclate toujours video that I showed you just earlier. So you'll see the words on the screen, and we'll pause the audio. We'll pause the audio. You don't have to pause anything. So we'll pause the audio, and you can repeat after you hear the phrase, and it gives you a chance to practice your pronunciation as you're listening. So that is our video travel, our travel diaries, a new podcast and a new course starting this Thursday and Friday for French and Italian. Now, I mentioned that German and Spanish will have travel diaries coming soon, but they're not quite ready yet. But we didn't think it was right not to launch something for French, for German and Spanish. So we are very pleased that this week, also on Thursday and Friday, we are going to be launching a brand new series of Coffee Break Spanish to go and Coffee Break German to go. So this is our video series where, in the case of German, Julia, and in the case of Spanish, Marina, are on the streets of of a town. In Julia's case, it's Berlin. In Marina's case, for this season of Spanish to Go, we actually filmed in Salamanca, a beautiful city, one of my favourite places in the world. And in Salamanca, we asked lots of people on the streets of Salamanca various questions. Now, the questions this time around are a little bit more challenging. In season 1, they were quite straightforward, matching season 1 of French, Spanish, Italian, and German, obviously. But in season 2, they're definitely a little more challenging. So you can see here with some of the topics, daily routine, films, travel, making plans, food, languages, and more. And of course, it's always based on the actual answers that people give, because you may ask a very simple question, but the answer that comes back may be much more complex. So you can listen to this and practice your language. And with the versions that these will be available on YouTube, you'll be able to see with subtitles and surtitles exactly what is involved. in what the people are saying. I've got a quick clip. I can give you a little promo of Coffee Break German to go. So here is Julia in Berlin, and this is a little promo mixed up with different questions. So here is Julia in Berlin. If I press the right button, here we go.
Hallo und herzlich willkommen zu einer weiteren Folge von Coffee Break German to go. Unsere heutige Frage lautet: Was hast du gestern gemacht? Was wirst du diesen Sommer machen? Was ist ein typisch deutsches Gericht für dich? Welche ist deine Lieblingsstadt? Wenn du irgendwo hinfahren könntest auf der Welt, wohin würdest du fahren?
So as you can see, the answers here are given by multiple people.
Okay, das war's für heute. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Tschüss!
Okay, that didn't quite work as planned. I thought the music was going to come in. But yeah, so you can get the idea with questions, more challenging questions, and obviously answers, depending on what the individual person said. You'll be able to hear lots of interesting answers, and then use those kind of answers or those constructions yourself in your own speaking. I've also got a little clip from one of the episodes of Coffee Break Spanish to go. So this gives you a little flavour of what you can expect in Coffee Break Spanish to go. Here we go.
Hola, bienvenidos a un nuevo capítulo de Coffee Break Spanish to go. Hoy vamos a hablar de la rutina. La pregunta es: ¿qué hiciste ayer? O más formal, ¿qué hizo usted ayer? Vamos a escuchar las respuestas de la gente.
Ayer quedé a tomar café con una amiga y después fuimos a hacer algunas compras.
Sí, yo también salí a pasear, que hacía muy buen tiempo, y vi el partido del Real Madrid.
Ayer pues estuvimos haciendo un poco de senderismo y por la tarde-noche ya estuvimos viendo al Madrid.
Ayer estuvimos en los alrededores de Salamanca haciendo turismo.
Ayer estuve visitando Zamora.
Pues ayer quedamos justamente las dos para
hacer
un trabajo y estuvimos tomando algo y eso, y luego cenamos por ahí.
¿Qué hice ayer? Pues ayer lo que hice fue viajar a una ciudad que está cerquita de Salamanca, que se llama Valladolid, y eso es lo que hice.
Pues ayer vinimos de Madrid y conocimos un poco la ciudad también. Fuimos a tomar algo y a pasear por la ciudad.
Ayer estuve en Cáceres, en Trujillo. Estuve en una feria de comida de queso.
So you get the idea there with these questions. You're getting much more complex answers, and obviously that particular question, ¿qué hiciste ayer? What did you do yesterday? That allows us to practice lots of good preterite tenses in the case of these respondents, and also look at some imperfect tenses as well. If we're talking about the weather, what the weather was like, and so on. So we've created these questions specifically to practice particular language points, and of course the interviewees weren't given any particular things to say. It's just natural Spanish, and in the German exactly the same case. So that is a new series of Coffee Break Spanish and German to go. And as I said, they are going to be starting this Thursday and Friday. So Spanish on Thursday and German on Fridays. So far we've got new podcasts with Elvet, La Vérité éclate toujours tomorrow. Our new travel diaries, Coffee Break French on Thursday and Coffee Break Italian on Friday. And now our to-go series with Coffee Break Spanish from Thursday and Coffee Break German to go on Friday. And lots of good topics covered there. And there will be a premium version of these as well, where you can get the lesson notes and a little more help with the content, and also audio versions of all of the episodes too. So lots of new stuff so far for our new courses and new podcasts and new video series. A couple other things I need to mention too. First of all, we are excited to be getting ready for another session of our masterclass. So this is the same masterclass that we've run in the past. And this is the class of July 2020. The masterclass has had probably over 1,000 students go through it. Now, yeah, well over 1,000 now, but 1,500 students go through the masterclass each time. Not each time, but over the years that we've been running the masterclass. And we're ready for a new cohort of students who are at an intermediate level and want to take their French or Spanish that bit further. And this is going to be available in French and Spanish, and registration opens tomorrow. So it's running from July through to December, and it's almost a kind of coaching class. So basically you would be part of a group of students. You would be taking part in the lessons. The lessons are audio lessons and a couple of video lesson reviews and so on. You can take them when you want. They are audio lessons in the sense that you're listening to like a podcast, and then you're doing some homework, and that homework is corrected. We provide some feedback to you on your homework. And then you get a test at the end of the module, and then a test at the end of the full class. So it's 6 modules, and we'll be doing some Facebook Lives and some YouTube Lives over the next few weeks to give you a little more information about the masterclass. But if you're already aware of the masterclass, and if you're already ready to sign up for the masterclass, then registration will open tomorrow, and from that point you can sign up, and the class will begin on the 1st of July. So that's the French and Spanish masterclass for intermediate speakers. Or intermediate learners, rather, of French and Spanish. So, that is our next announcement. We have got, I think, one more to come. Yeah, one more announcement to come. And that is, finally, the launch of our Coffee Break Conversations podcast. Now, this is a brand new podcast series. And it's basically a series of interviews in which we talk about life and learning and languages. And we've been interviewing quite a number of the members of the Coffee Break community. We've also been interviewing some people involved in Coffee Break, so the members of the team, and also some people from the world of languages and language professionals. So over the first season of 10 lessons, or 10 episodes now, these aren't really lessons, they're conversations, they're in English, and they're about the other languages and about language learning. We will so these are conversations about life, learning and languages, and the season preview comes out on Wednesday the 3rd of June. Now, in a couple of cases, we actually have some video episodes as well. So we've got some video conversations that we've had with various people. These tend to be members of the team or people involved in languages as opposed to community members, but we've got lots of audio content as well. So just to give you a little flavour about this, I've got a little clip from our first episode, and this is both an audio and video episode this time. So the videos will come on our YouTube channel, and the audios will be in the Coffee Break Conversations podcast feed. So here is a little clip with someone that you may know well if you're a Coffee Break Italian learner. Okay, so then what happened? Then did you spend time abroad? Did you spend time in the UK or another English-speaking place?
Yes, when I was a student at the university, I did a year abroad in England, near London, for my Erasmus year, which is a great opportunity for all the European citizens, and it was a great year in my life many years ago now, but I have fond memories of my year abroad in England, and I also spent some time in Moscow, at the Moscow State Linguistic University and GLU. Yeah, to improve my Russian and also to write my dissertation. So I also have very fond memories of Moscow and my time in Russia.
So I'll stop that there. You can look forward to this, a lovely interview with Francesca from Coffee Break Italian, and that was filmed on a balcony in the beautiful town of Stresa. So we filmed that last year, and there are other interviews with other members of the team and also with members of the Coffee Break community. Conversations is very much about everyone involved in Coffee Break, be they members of the community like yourselves, and I know there are a couple of people watching who have been interviewed already, and also about languages in general. So we're looking forward to sharing some interviews that we've done with people from that world, from the world of language learning and language professionals. So we're excited about the launch of Coffee Break Conversations. As I say, it's going to be starting with a season preview this Wednesday, the 3rd of June, and thereafter every week on Wednesdays for the first season of 10 lessons, of 10 episodes. I need to stop saying lessons because these ones aren't lessons, these are just episodes of the podcast. Okay, I've got a few questions from a number of you who are watching. Eugene saying, me encanta el pretérito, lo que no me gusta es el subjuntivo. Well, if you're struggling with the subjuntivo, then there's a module on the subjunctive in the masterclass, Eugene. So if you're interested in that, that may well be for you. We've got Lavos Olivia Kwon is saying, secondo me mi serve coffee break Italian, German and French. So this person studies singing and she loves coffee break. So I'm really pleased that you're enjoying that. Christine is making a very valid point. I'm never going to be advanced in French, so it's great to know that the travel diary for intermediate learners is coming. Again, with Helvet, with La Vérité éclate toujours, it is very much for advanced learners, but that's no suggestion that you have to be advanced. You have to work towards being advanced. I always say that the most important thing is being able to say whatever it is you want to say in the language, not necessarily being able to sit down and read a book or whatever. We created La Vérité éclate toujours because we've got lots of people who have worked through the various levels of coffee break and are ready for that next challenge, and we hope that you love it, those of you who use it. But that's why also we want to continue to create new content for our intermediate learners too. Paula is asking how much is the masterclass, and I don't have the exact pricing here because I didn't put a slide of that on in the slide deck for this, so I apologise. But the pricing will be on the pages which go live tomorrow, and it's I don't want to try and guess exactly how much it is and make a mistake, but the pages will go live tomorrow and the pricing will be there for the masterclass with all the explanations. Okay, Christine's saying, I love the masterclass, so thank you for that. Rebecca saying, you all work so very hard. All this is great. Well, yeah, we have been working very hard, and I would actually like to take this opportunity to say a huge thank you to the whole team. Obviously, for everyone, it's been a challenging time. And I know that for all of us, it's been a challenging time too, finding ways in which we can do things differently. We can't get access to our studio at the moment, so we've all been working from home. We've all been trying to set up recording things from home. That's why there was a little bit of a delay with some aspects of La Vérité éclate toujours. But we basically over the past few months we've found these new ways to work. We've developed new techniques and processes, and I would really like to say a huge thanks to the team because everyone has been brilliant over this past over these 3 months, which have been challenging for everyone. Let us see what else. Popcorn is saying, elle est incroyable cette Francesca. Oui, elle est bien. Elle est bien incroyable. And Eugene said, I think Mark said Pajalsta in that video. Yeah, I did say Pajalsta right at the beginning. George saying, how exciting, lots of new content. Popcorn, Marc, votre accent français est excellent. Avez-vous des parents français? Non, je n'ai pas de parents français, désolé. I'm good at detecting foreign accents. You're perfect in French. Très bien. Merci beaucoup. Nicole saying, we love coffee break languages. Thank you very much indeed. Okay, let me just do a little summary of what we've announced today. I think I've got a slide for that. Yes, I do indeed. So, first of all, La Vérité éclate toujours, our advanced French course for advanced learners, is coming tomorrow with episode 1 and the course being released on the Academy. So that's coffeebreakacademy.com for all of that. And I should also say just one thing about that. Coffee Break French feed, the podcast feed, will not have the episodes of La Vérité éclate toujours in it. So, if you are already subscribed to Coffee Break French and you want the episodes of La Vérité, then you'll need to find the feed for La Vérité éclate toujours. It's a specific feed that we're putting the podcast in. All you need to do is search on whatever podcast app you use for Coffee Break French, and you should find both the Coffee Break French logo and the La Vérité éclate toujours logo. You've seen what it looks like. It's this black logo with the writing in sort of, well, You can see it there. I don't need to explain what it looks like. So if you search for Coffee Break French, you'll see the logo for La Vérité éclate toujours. Now, tomorrow, in the podcast feed, we will be putting a little promo episode for La Vérité. So in the Coffee Break French feed, you will hear the promo episode for La Vérité, but you won't hear the whole of episode 1. So tomorrow, what you need to do is listen to that and then make sure you go over to La Vérité éclate toujours feed and subscribe to that there to get the future episodes of La Vérité éclate toujours. Because we're keeping the Coffee Break French feed free for our Coffee Break French travel diaries, which, as I said, are launching this Thursday. And then on Friday, we've got Coffee Break Italian diaries, and they'll go straight into the Coffee Break Italian feed as expected. Coffee Break German to Go Season 2 and Coffee Break Spanish to Go will launch on our YouTube channel, and you will be able to find them there. And they will also be available within the Coffee Break Academy, as will the travel diaries. There will be the course there where you'll be able to access the additional materials for each of those courses. The Coffee Break French and Spanish masterclasses start registration tomorrow, and you can find them again on the Coffee Break Academy. And finally, our Coffee Break Conversations podcast, a brand new podcast, will have its own podcast feed. We're still working on that, so there's not a feed yet, but there will be a feed come this Wednesday. So we'll share that on everything. The best way to find out exactly all the correct links for all of this and to keep in touch with us as we launch all these new contents is by subscribing to the Coffee Break Catch-Up newsletter. And you can do so by going to radiolingua.com/newsletter. And if you subscribe to that newsletter, every Friday we send out the Coffee Break Catch-Up email, and that basically includes all the links for any new episodes, any new podcasts, any new videos that we've put out, and also news of the times for any live lessons that we're doing, which we're continuing to do this coming week. They're at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, our time, so the same time as our live broadcast today. So those are all contained in the newsletter, so make sure you subscribe to the Coffee Break Catch-Up newsletter. And as I say, you can find that at radiolingua.com/newsletter. Okay, I think that is us for now. James is saying, I've gone over Season 3 twice. I think I'm ready for Season 4 for advanced learners. Excellent. So James, I hope you enjoy Season 4 when you get onto it. And then if it's French you're learning, then perhaps afterwards you can move on to La Vérité. Thank you all for joining me here today. I hope you've enjoyed this special announcement. I hope that you very much enjoy what's coming, and that you are looking forward to yet more Coffee Break content coming to you very soon. I would like to again say thank you to the team and everyone who's worked so hard to put all of these pieces of content together, and to the team also for helping with the channel today and posting questions and comments and links and so on. That's it for today. If you are currently in the UK, I think you'll be experiencing the beautiful weather that we are experiencing here in Scotland at the moment, and I am going out to enjoy that now. So I wish you a very pleasant rest of the day wherever you are, and we are really excited about what's coming up. Tomorrow at 4 o'clock UK time, we will be having a live lesson on Facebook in the Coffee Break French Facebook page. And then at 5 o'clock, we're having a little bit of a launch party of La Vérité, where you can join us for a little bit of a party to celebrate the first episode of this new show. So Pierre Benoit will be here, and we're looking forward to that. And then we have got other live broadcasts this week, and the days have changed, so it's maybe worth mentioning that. So Monday is French this week. Tuesday is Italian, so that's the same. Wednesday is German this week, and Thursday is what's left to do Spanish. So those are our Facebook Lives this week, all at 4 o'clock, plus the extra one at 5 o'clock tomorrow for the launch of La Vérité. Merci beaucoup tout le monde. Thank you to all of you for the kind comments, and I think it's time to say au revoir, merci, vielen Dank, adios, grazie mille, hey da, and happy coffee breaking.